right, we are here. We'd like to thank everybody for tuning in to the Elvte podcast. And today, I have a special guest, a longtime friend we just rekindled after 20 years.
20 years.
But it's funny though because I met Denise through no, I didn't meet her, but we caught up through a friend of ours, right? And I was we were talking about taxes or something, and he was like, "Well, no. He was talking about an ad." He said, "I know somebody who need to, they need a flyer or something." I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, yeah. Shout out to KD Dollar, and he was like, I said, "Yeah, I do it. It's no problem." So then he sent me the information, and I'm looking like, wait a minute. So I was like, okay, I didn't think about it. But the next day, I was like, KD, I think I know her. He was like, yo, you for real? Where? You probably do. He said, she from the city. I said, but she in Atlanta. He said, yeah, she in Atlanta now. And I'm like, So it was bothering me, right? So then I just hit you, said, you know what? I think I know you. And she was like, no, it don't ring a bell.
Y'all know how I do my memory.
And she's like, my memory ain't there. I'm like, I'm trying to think of everything. Did you go to Sinclair? She said, yeah. But everybody went to Sinclair. I'm like, what? Shit. Did you play ball? She's like, no. I said, oh shit. Maybe I'm wrong. I said, I'm gonna feel stupid if this, because I've been thinking about this like all day, right? And then I said, okay, let me hit her. I hit you again. I said, you know what? I met you through my brother, Tone, my partner, Tone. She didn't even remember Tone, but she did remember my brother. When I said my brother, the light came on. When I said my partner, she didn't remember him at all.
Sorry, Tone. I know a lot of Tones. Once he sent a picture, I was like, oh.
Yeah, she's like, send me a picture.
Like that.
Then it came back. And so it came full circle.
See, Shay played so much ball that you thought I played ball.
Right. I didn't. I was just trying to put it together. Yeah.
Maxes and Jordans, I guess it looked like I played ball too.
Yeah, I just knew. I said, I think I know. I don't know why. The name just hit me when I heard it.
What's up, Dayton? Y'all know I love y'all.
So then kind of find out she in Atlanta, I'm in Atlanta. So I'm like, oh shit. So I need you to do my taxes. So here we are. And she's helping me do my taxes right now. And I'm going to help her. Whatever she want to do.
You know, Rob, you are one of those clients that I love, right? Like, you come to me with a little bit of the onion, and then we start peeling it back.
Right.
And it leads to a whole bunch of other stuff that we can discuss and talk about.
Right.
That, it's not... Because I tell people all the time, my mom taught me how to do my taxes when I was 14 with a pen and paper.
Wow.
By the time I was 19, I was doing my own earned income credit tax returns on pen and paper and doing them online just to see if it matched.
Right.
So, I mean, no disrespect, but I know that's not my core client. I know that TurboTax, TaxSlayer, a lot of them can do what I do when you have a simple enough return with you and your dependents and you're getting earned income credit.
Right.
But when you want to take it a step beyond, when those kids are done with school, when you want to open a business, when you want to, have all of your sales tax licenses, your business tax licenses, everything in line, I've been fortunate enough to get that experience through my corporate job and the education with getting my master's in accounting. So it's exciting to me. Like, my friends hate taxes, and during tax season, that's all I want to talk about is how we gonna get this money.
Get this money.
Or how are we gonna save this money? Because as a self-employed person, that you owe taxes at the end of the year.
Right.
We work for huge corporations that know they owe taxes at the end of the year. The goal is to lessen your tax liability.
There it is.
You don't
repeat that for me one more time. The goal is to lessen your taxes. And that's what people don't understand. So that's why I'm glad you came, because I wanted to pick your brain a little bit.
All right.
Especially about our community, right?
Okay.
To me, because I've been doing business and helping people build business for a long time. Now, mind you, even when I started my business, I wasn't doing it. You kind of just have a gift and a skill, and you just do it, and people pay it for you. And that's kind of how I got started. But I really wasn't understanding the business part of it, right? Holding your records and all that, right? So, but when I got educated, I was like, what? I should have been doing this
I mean,
10 years ago.
We're talking about a $50 charge every year for a business license.
Right.
Like, we're not talking about anything that's going to set you back like that. It just has to be in order.
So do you think every person needs a business?
I don't necessarily think that every person needs a business at every time of their life.
Okay.
It depends on what you have and what you are benefiting from. I say this to say, if you make and tax wise,
right?
I can't talk about. My brain just works on in a tax wise situation.
Right.
So owning a business, you can only take a loss on that business 3 out of 5 years, and then the government will tell you that you have a hobby.
Right.
If you have a side hustle,
mm-hmm.
there is no reason not to be claiming that business. It will either benefit you by your startup costs. I mean, people who have spent so much money to kick off selling perfume, selling jewelry. Why would you not take that loss off of your income every year just because? And I mean, let's be real, like there's so many online systems. Mint, what was the other one that I talked to you about?
TurboTax.
No, not TurboTax. It leads into TurboTax. That's why I hate it. That's why I didn't put it out of my mind. But there's so much automation to you keeping records now that it's not the old headache of I got this whole shoebox.
But this is why I think everybody needs a business. I don't care what you do. You at least need a business, right? I think everybody is entitled to be their own boss, stand on your own 10 feet. Even though I'm not saying you shouldn't have a 9 to 5. I'm encouraging people. I think they should own a business for just what you said, the tax relief that you get. For example, if you're working out of your house, for example, a lot of people don't know that you can write a lot of this stuff off, right?
You can.
And the goal is to pay less taxes. We get taxed on everything.
It is, but depending on what that person's income is and what they're claiming as far as school credits, child tax credits, income can hurt also. So
exactly.
it really depends. That's why you have to have someone look at the whole picture. Now, I don't care what you make. I agree with you 100%. I've told my daughter, who is now 27 years old, that's one thing that I hate and I regret is that I didn't start a business earlier. Because you can always incorporate yourself. You'll start out as an S corp where it pulls from your income. Let me explain it like this. Like earned income credit has a sweet spot.
Right.
And
so
once you're past that
hold on, let's talk about earned income credit.
Okay.
Earned income credit is the hood holiday.
It is the hood holiday.
We love it.
We love it.
So, what is earned income credit? It's like they're giving you your money back and we just get happy.
It's not even that. It's based on income. So the sweet spot is like 16 and 17,000. That's where you're going to get the most earned income credit for however many children that you're claiming.
But it's giving you your money back, right?
It's not really your money because a lot of people
didn't take it
and didn't have nothing taken out of their check.
So they getting free money?
It's not really free money. What it is it's supposed to bridge the gap between those that are working, making a working wage, and those that are not.
Okay.
It kind of bridges that gap when used properly. Everybody wants to flip their earned income credit and go get a new TV and a new stereo. There's something that feels empowering about that. But at the same time...
That large lump sum of money.
That large lump sum of money. But at the same time, there's nothing wrong with paying your rent out for the year, too. So when you get your regular checks, you can shoot some money somewhere else.
Well, that's hold on. That's a whole nother way. Don't go there yet. That's a whole nother conversation because of what you can do with the money.
It's still right. It's a ton of ways, and no matter how much you're going to enjoy going to the strip club or going to hang out or whatever you're going to do, no matter, chunk that little, you'll be amazed at how interest compiles over the year. Chunk some of that off.
Are you talking about as far as managing your money? Once you get it back.
Managing your money, because if you can't manage your money, let's be realistic. We're setting them up for a business situation they're not ready for.
Okay, hold on. We're going to come back to managing your money because you can do a lot with that money.
You
right.
can do a whole lot with that money.
It's kind of like when you hurt and you get that lunch sum of money, you just kind of...
It ain't gotta be that much.
You just kind of go splurge city.
It gotta be like, okay, I do hair, I do nails, so I'm gonna go and I'm gonna re-up on all my stuff. So for the next 6 months, I ain't gotta worry about, I ain't got the money to go get this little bit of this and this little bit. Because when you got kids,
right,
it get that real, yo. Like, you might not have the money to go do what you need to do to run your business. Like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? So, man, I ain't never got no $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 tax returns, but I do them all the time.
Right.
And with that, what I do have is extra income at tax season. And I always get myself on a flat plane during tax season. We all got back bills. We all overspend. We all take vacations. Pay them credit cards. All pay them.
But that's management, though.
Like,
but that's management.
And you need that. You need that guidance to a certain degree to run a business.
True.
Properly.
Okay, but let's go back.
You can set up something and not have any income to report and nothing. You can still have yourself LLC and really not do nothing with it, but pay your
But even if you're paying taxes, right? The people who pay taxes and just get back not so much earned income credit, right? But to get your taxes back on an income tax, right? Mm-hmm. Do you get more back from income tax, or would you get more back from not paying taxes as far as the balance? So let's just say that I own my own business, right? And I'm paying taxes, but I wrote off so much where it brings it down. So even though I didn't get it back physically I didn't pay so much. So the key is not to pay the taxes.
That's correct, but
that's the goal, right?
So, like for me, for instance, the whole time that my daughter was in school up until the time she was 18, you get your earned income credit to maybe like $34,000 a year. So I hadn't had earned income credit in forever. Right. But there were other credits. I would get a child tax credit. Then she started college. I would get a college credit. Even though she had scholarship money, we still was out of pocket for stuff. So I would claim that stuff at the end of the year. So I kind of had a crutch. Then she's done with college. It's just me, my income, and that's what I owe in taxes, right? Mm-hmm. So for me, I don't want to loan. Basically, when you're working and you have nothing to claim, no credits, no nothing, what your refund is going to be is what you had taken out your check. Which is
exactly, right.
That's
yeah.
So if that's your situation, you have one or two options. You can either take that money, claim zero, see how much they take out. If you can physically do without that money to where I don't know who your audience is, but it's just a bottle you might buy or a bag you might, something frivolous, going out to eat, the equivalent of that. Then have that money taken out and put it in a high interest bearing savings account.
There we go.
Hold
on, but you keep you can't go there yet. You keep trying to give them the game on what to do with the money. We're not there yet. Wait a minute, we still talking about the money.
But that's the difference.
right. I know that's the difference.
Instead of loaning the IRS a loan during the year with no interest on it, and then you're just getting it back at the end of the year.
We're gonna school them on that too, but hold on.
Then you earning a little bit of interest.
But
money's money.
Especially money that grow.
That's that.
But that's that money that grow. But what I'm asking is, would it be better? Mm-hmm. Because how much do taxes take? They take about 30% of your money you earn, right?
On a business.
On a personal, on regular.
But all of that is not federal tax. See, that's the thing. People look at what's taken out of their check and say, man, I'm paying all this money in taxes. You also paying Social Security and Medicare.
But how much are that? About 30% of your income for the year.
It's
about
not
20%.
It's not 20%. It depends on what income bracket you're in.
Say you're in a basic income, like
the basic
20 to 50,
10%, and then once you get to like 30,000, 34, excuse me, I don't know the exact numbers. I can look it up. But once it gets higher, it starts in at 12%, which it was 15%. But that's what Trump did. He took it down to 12%. So, like, for instance, the W-4, when you used to fill out your W-4 when you started a new job,
right?
It would say enter one for yourself,
right?
One for your spouse, and one for each kid in your house,
right?
Right? And people would have all of these exemptions. It'd end up being 6.
Right.
They barely got anything taken out of their check.
Okay.
But if it's just you only hit 1, and 1 was your only
and they
exemption,
gonna be banking your
they
ass.
Take more money out of your check. You claim 1, you'll probably end up with anywhere to a $800 to a $1,600 refund just in what you overpaid.
So you overpaid.
Right.
Okay. So my question is, wouldn't you rather be in a position where you pay them when you want to, rather than take your stuff?
It really depends on if during the year you are setting aside what you're going to owe.
If you have discipline.
Because if at the end of every year you owe $7,000, that's not easier than just getting it taken out your check and you never saw it. It just kind of depends.
With your but now you get more tax benefits. Now you say you had a lot of benefits when you just like earn income and you have children, so you get these benefits, right? But don't you have like 50 more benefits if you have a business? I mean, it's like so many more.
You want me to say yes to that? And as
I'm saying
that is
I'm
not
saying
a
yes.
No,
I'm saying yes. You're the professional.
It's
but I'm saying
tax wise. I can answer the question is tax wise. As far as empowerment,
you get more benefits.
You don't necessarily get more benefits depending on what your income is, hon. It's
okay.
Just that simple.
Say.
So more income on somebody that's in that sweet spot for earned income credit. They made about $24,000 for the year. Earned income credit, you add more income to that, and they're gonna get less earned income credit, which is gonna lower their tax.
I'm not really talking about
people
lower.
Want to know what they're getting at the end of the year. Period.
Well, yeah, I'm not talking about the earned income right now. I'm just talking about. Say you're not even getting
everybody.
So say you're not even getting earned income.
If you're not getting earned income credit, then that's the only thing that's based on your earned income. You know what I'm saying? So if you're not getting earned income credit, if you're out of that realm.
Yeah, you're out of that realm.
Yes. Because you want to, and if that's your only employment, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you claim your business if that's your only employment?
Right.
Especially if you're writing kids off of that, because you still get child tax credit. But it really depends.
Now let me ask you this.
Taking a loss is taking a loss, and that's gravy. But it just depends on how much income you're making from your business. Okay,
let me ask you this.
But most people don't in the first 3 years. That's why the IRS says you got 3 years to lose money.
That is true.
Because the setup for cost for setting up a business is going to eat up most of your profits. And that's what people, I have people that,
But before you set up your business then, I still think you should have a side hustle. I don't think you should rely on one income first of all. I don't think so. Because you're just like one step from
I don't think so either.
The poverty.
That's
from
correct.
the
you one check away.
They fire you, your life is just in shambles. But okay, so I'm just saying that maybe you start a side hustle and then you slowly you get it together, you get it going to where you feel like, oh, I'm making some money now. You might want to start a business, right?
Legitimize that side hustle.
Yes. And I think it would benefit you more. And it's other benefits, not just from the tax write-off. I'm talking about like, it's so much shit that I learned.
When you want to go get a car and a house, you want to, like I have like used car salesmen that, have made statements like they make so much money, that's why they owe so much taxes. And then I look at their tax return and they're not writing off shit. They're not. You ripping and running all day. You got all of this mileage to claim.
Talk to them.
You got
big mileage.
I mean, you just have so much to write off. You have expenses. I don't care if you buy a pack of pens. You take people to dinner. You schmooze people to try to sell cars. You go to events. You
write-offs.
You have all of this stuff, and you not writing off all this stuff. That's
because the wealthy people do that. The wealthy people write that shit off.
So much money. I mean, yeah. If all of your income is commission.
Well, let me ask you this though, because a wealthy dude told me this.
It's not tax.
A wealthy man told me this. He said, you need to get some cash flow. And I said, yeah. He said, no, you don't understand what I'm saying. He said, income is taxed. Cash flow is not. Is that true? Is there any truth to that?
It is true because what he's referring to is what's on your cash flow statement. And when you go to the bank, that's what they're going to want to see. They're going to want to see what cash is coming in and how you're spending it. So when he's talking about cash flow, he's talking about the movement of money through your business.
Yes.
Just the state income does not benefit you if you're not doing your expenses properly. You know what I'm saying? Like, I tell people they can just bring me a box of receipts every 4 months. I'll throw it on a spreadsheet. That's all you need. You don't need something so magical. You staple them receipts together. Most of them receipts are going to be, I take pictures of everything. We go to dinner. I'm paying for dinner because I'm taking a picture of it. I'm taking a picture of it right then and there. Like, I'm writing all that off because these are my tax clients, and I'm 9 times out of 10 times out of 10, we're talking about taxes. These are genuine. No different if you sell Mary Kay and you there and you trying to sell your Mary Kay. No different than you selling Herbalife. It's all a business, and if you actually work it, it can be very beneficial to you. One of my best teachers is my Aunt Johnny. She's been selling Mary Kay for years, and when I tell you her,
she getting it in. Ain't he getting it in?
Cadillac out here, you know. When I tell you her paperwork is so bomb, like it's set up through the system.
Is she writing a lot of shit off?
She's just
She
awesome.
writing everything off.
She's just awesome.
See what I'm saying? See, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Don't tell her business, but I'm saying she getting it. She's sweet. She got it set up.
Very, you know, I was able to work with her early enough, you know, before school to when we're sitting and we're, you know, doing these spreadsheets and we're pulling over the cash flow statements from the income statement and all of that workings is going on. The little pings and red lights are going off like, oh, that's how that number ends up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's how they do that. Oh, that's how. It's really it's an open market, and don't get it twisted. That's why Trump lowered the corporate tax rate.
Exactly.
Because they're all incorporated.
So he told me, he said, he told me the same thing. Don't get it twisted. It's called income tax. It's not called cash flow tax.
Yeah.
And I said, damn. I need to give me some cash flow.
I mean, from the sponges on your wall to this table to all of this is a write-off. Sorry, babe. You write it all off.
We writing off everything. But that's what I'm saying. See, so I brought you in here to kind of just educate the people.
Write it off.
Educate us because we don't know. Right, well, so now we can get into
to a certain degree. Listen,
no, we don't know.
I can't. We don't know.
We know the word.
Even when
income
we do
tax.
Know,
that's all we know.
When we do know, those that's really moving money, those that's really doing a lot, are intimidated about having a government in their business. And one other reason why I really do this is because I've had family members fall victim to the IRS. I've seen friends have the IRS show up and take everything they got. It's almost like they don't want to stick their toe in because for so long they ain't been on the IRS radar. Why would I put myself on it now?
You talking about as far as what? Reporting income or cash
as far
flow?
As businesses, as far as
we be scared.
It's about your yearly income tax return. It's about your sales tax return. It's about your unclaimed property reporting. It's all of these other different reportings that a lot of businesses that sell things, you know, they don't. People don't. I don't know. It's a funny thing, right? We go to the Nike store. We know we paying $190 plus tax.
Right.
Ain't nothing going on with that plus tax. You're not getting to the register and going to tell the lady at Nike, I don't want to pay the tax. But it's something about black businesses. People don't want to pay that tax. It's just. I don't know. We don't like taxes. I mean, it goes to the state. It's nothing that
we like that. We like that underground shit.
And that's. I don't. You know.
Can't speak on that.
I mean, you know, like if the government hadn't been so unfair to us, we don't want to open that, you know. But I get where that's coming from.
Yeah, I mean that's where the fear and the stamina come from.
Yeah.
No, but let me ask you this: is there any truth to this? The IRS is a private company. It's not a government company.
So many of the government entities are run as a private business, but what people need to remember is the IRS's money that they move, their cash flow statement, pretty much comes from the government budgeting. So when you're calling the IRS and you're on hold for an hour, or it takes 8 to 12 weeks for them to do an old tax return for you that should be simple, it's because they don't have nobody in there because
Internal
Trump
Revenue
keep
Service
cutting the money from the budget.
So there is a federal company?
They're funded federally. So that's basically their tax returns are nonprofit tax returns. They're government tax returns.
I've heard income tax is not even legal.
I mean,
it's not a law for it.
A lot of stuff that we do in this country. I mean, that's really going back because
you're
talking about
is there any truth in that?
Forefathers that came here to get away from being taxed.
Yeah.
So without representation.
No taxation without representation.
And Ohio is they have all these local taxes. A lot of times people didn't pay more to a local tax in Ohio because they work in one of those outskirts than they have to the state.
But you know what?
And
speaking of taxes in Ohio, they don't tax food in Ohio. And I'm still, every time I eat something here in Atlanta, I think they jipping me or getting over on me.
I don't think
Ohio, when you go to Burger King.
I do believe that.
I know they tax the pot.
I do believe that outside of Atlanta, somebody can chime in if I'm wrong on this, because all state taxes aren't my thing. But I believe outside of Atlanta, like in the
Some
country towns
bullshit.
in Georgia,
Yeah,
they don't pay taxes on their food either. It's just that the whole state lives off of Atlanta. There's so much money generated in the Atlanta area.
Did that throw you off when you first moved here? You like, hold on, how much? Is that?
No, I moved to Texas before here,
and they tax.
And Texas doesn't have state income tax, so you don't. So they tax everything else. You know
they tax everything. They tax food too.
That's because you got to remember, these are revenue generators for the state.
See,
so that's where I say it's taxation without representation, because unless your neighborhood is directly seeing this money that you're paying, I mean, but this is a catch-22. If the majority of your neighborhood has no tax liability, they're cashed out with earned income credit, child tax credit, they get in big lump sum returns.
Right.
There's nothing that they paid out of their check that they're not getting at the end of the year, then that's not really paying taxes to the government. People commonly say, because they have a home, they pay their property taxes,
right?
They pay their Social Security. They often say,
it's a lot of taxes.
I'm a tax-paying citizen, and at the end of the day, there's no taxes they don't pay besides, sales tax, that they don't get back at the end of the year. Like some countries, they tell you to keep all of your receipts throughout the year, and at the end of the year, that's what you get back as your refund. America just has their tax system, and it is what it is. But that's not a universal. It's not income tax everywhere.
So when you buy a sales tax, right? When you go to all these stores and you buying and you paying a sales tax, and then you getting taxed from your house, then you getting taxed from your job and your income. That's a lot of taxes.
I mean,
that's why motherfuckers don't be wanting to.
Said the slickest thing about taxes.
That's what motherfuckers don't be wanting to pay all of their taxes.
It's 2020, and there should be an app to choose where you want your tax money to go. Especially, y'all think we pay taxes,
right?
Folks with money, they pay a lot of taxes. Don't get me wrong. It's just that what they're saving overwhelms what. I know people who own businesses that are legit happy if their tax bill is only $100,000 at the end of the year. Because the income that they've generated and everything else they've been able to write off at it come, like I say, October, November, a lot of large corporations and businesses will do a soft set of what they've put out at the end of the year. And they'll do one or two things. They'll start hiring like crazy. They'll start acquiring like crazy. Or they'll start
to do what?
Purchasing a lot of stuff for offices, like a lot of things, because if they have too much income versus what they want to write off, and their tax bill is too much of a liability to them, they would rather reinvest that.
Yeah, they're gonna get waxed.
They would rather reinvest that with help for the Christmas season. They'd rather reinvest that in any supplies or equipment that they need. Why give that money to the IRS when I can give it to myself?
Right.
In many different ways, it's gonna be spent. So you're going to either pay taxes on it, or you're going to write it off. And once it's gone, it's gone. You're flat out not paying taxes on it. It's gone. It's not like it creeps back at the end of the tax return or something like that. It's dollar for dollar. My company made $500,000. I have $265,000 of expenses that I'm writing off between employment, equipment, property, whatever.
Exactly.
They'll go buy a building.
So
you can write it off.
Okay. I'm actually not. I'm just picking your brain today. Pick Denise Brain Day. The taxes. Okay, now what about? Okay, now here's an argument.
Okay.
Some people think that rich people, the wealthy, should pay more than the regular folks. Do you agree or disagree? I disagree.
It's a double-edged sword.
I disagree.
Dollar for dollar, they're paying so much more in taxes. It's just a less percentage of their income, because either they have incorporated themselves and put everything under their corporation. Now, mind you, you cannot write off your income every year on your Schedule C self-employed business.
Oh, you talking tax talk now.
But you can.
What's the Schedule C? You
Schedule-
talking tax talk right now. We
The
you got
Schedule
educators.
C is the form that is used for self-employed income.
Self-employed. Okay, gotcha.
So even if you get a 1099 from Uber,
1099. Yeah,
contract,
familiar with that.
construction, whatever.
I got 1099s.
You got
now.
1099s now. That's what everything is going to go on. Our mileage that we're writing off, our equipment, our supplies, our office expenses. Everything is going to be written off of that Schedule C.
Yeah.
But let's play with the game of what if that was your only income, and we had $60,000 sitting there, and we dwindle it down to $20,000, so you're only paying taxes on $20,000.
Talk to me.
What you gonna do when you go to try to get that car? And
you try to get a loan. They say you only got
$20,000.
$20,000. You like, no, I made 60. They like, nah, you ain't. Now that hurt. That do hurt. So that's like,
So you pay yourself the wage you need to make for your lifestyle of $40,000
and pay.
Write everything else off your corporation, and it swings over. The first year you're an S corp, and then once you prove yourself, it's a separate return.
I'm saying this though,
but,
if I'm a millionaire and he's a thousandaire, I'm saying the taxes should be equal, 10%, 10%. It should be equal. Now, if I make money, I pay more. If I make less money, I pay less.
The key to it is this millionaire over here has to know how to lessen his tax liability. So he's more in line with our thousandaire. You know what I'm saying? This millionaire, that's
shouldn't it be fair though?
It's
Trump
not. Said stuff like, what was he talking about? His net operating loss that he brought over for years. once you're incorporated, you can take that net operating loss for like 18 years. So let's say that you have a Trump college, and it goes bankrupt, and you lost $5 million. Well, the first year off of all of your corporations, once everything dwindled down, you can't. There's no $5 million left to take off $5 million. You take off zero that out, and you carry the rest of that $5 million over to the next year. Your corporation does all what it does. It only has $2 million left. You take $2 million from the rest, and you bring it over to the next year. So just imagine if you're taking $15 million losses from a business as big as that, right? How that's going to carry over for years to years. So that's what he was talking about. And anybody can do that. I have someone who took a loss on a business that they set up with somebody else. It didn't go well. Trump is good. $3,000 off of his income every year, and that's just on a Schedule C. It's limited there, but on a corporation, it's not limited because that's separate from you have a board. There's a lot of things you have to do for a corporation. But I do have a contact in Dayton. I don't bring his card.
You didn't answer the question.
The corporation.
Should they be taxed equally?
I don't think so. No.
You think rich people should pay more?
The rich people are going to pay more anyway. I think that...
I'm talking about the percentage.
Okay, so this is why I say that.
That's why I say they should be paid more.
This is why I say that Walmart shouldn't be taxed at the same percentage rate as the average chick and that's got 3
that work
kids
at Walmart.
That's working at Walmart. Because like Walmart just donated $5 million to the African Museum in DC. They are going to write that $5 million off. Not a portion of it, not a section of it. But that's $5 million in income.
That they don't got to report.
They don't have to pay taxes on. They have a museum that they own.
They probably own it.
They have a museum.
Right.
Listen, I'm
okay.
not
That's real.
They have a museum, gift and estate taxes. The book was this thick. It was the hardest class I ever took. I had to take an independent study. My professor was awesome because I was just sitting in there like, black trash. Like, like I don't understand none of this. But they have their own museum. So they're able to buy all of this artwork, which we know triples in value every generation. They can leave all of this artwork to their family members to continue to be the successor of their charity to nonprofits. Y'all need to get with Brandy. That's a whole nother thing. Like, but
nonprofits. We'll get to that next.
So they're spending all of this money on this museum that really they own. It's their museum. It's going to be in their family for generations to come.
Smart.
But it's a tax write-off.
Smart.
So do I think that same group of people that are already filthy rich, that have the ability to write off $20 million for a museum that they technically own every year, when somebody die and they gifted to somebody else, they have to pay
no
gifted
taxes.
estate taxes.
Yeah,
on it?
yeah.
Do I think that they also need a break to only pay 10%? Nah, I don't.
Ooh.
I don't. But
I do. See, that's why I think everybody should own a business because you got benefits, and they know how to wiggle.
You
and
because you haven't seen the numbers on paper.
But I'm saying, but they wiggling and they know how to fix the game so they win and not pay taxes.
Amazon pays 0 taxes, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Because they got a 4 billion buses, little vans out here of people working for Amazon.
They got a business. He don't.
My daughter worked part time.
That's why it's so important.
All of these people that they're hiring, paying insurance for. There are so many taxes that the average person does not know that businesses have to pay.
True.
That, trust me,
that's why you need a business, man.
Taxes.
I know they do.
If a flat tax rate makes sense for, those that really aren't seeing it. I think it was non-beneficial to where a lot of companies went overseas because they didn't want to pay that corporate tax
Clinton
they had. But Trump knocked that down some for him. So
Clinton did that.
Yeah, he did.
But now let me ask you this: what was I gonna say about the taxes? Yeah, but at first I was against it, but now I'm for it because I be hiring people from overseas and they be cheap. So I feel them. I see what they doing.
Texas would not be the state it was. It wouldn't be so independent without cheap labor. They can
talk to
whatever.
That's real. Cheap labor.
I had somebody hook up my cars and whatnot. So
cheap labor is the key.
And that, to keep it real, that's a lot what kept our neighborhoods rolling for a long time. You know what I'm saying?
Before that's what built the country.
You know what I'm saying? You knew somebody that worked on plumbing. You knew somebody who did these things. You weren't necessarily calling Roto-Rooter to come to your house.
That's why
we're not skilled anymore. We stepped away
I gotta
from
remember
being
my
skilled.
question. I have a deep question for you. No. Okay, I got it back.
Okay.
All right.
Talk a lot of
so why is it? Say I work, right? Mm-hmm. The goal is to, they got us out here chasing this money, right? And we accumulate this $1 million that we don't work for. Mm-hmm. Is it true that or even if you win the lottery, that half of it you have to pay your taxes?
It's not true. It's not true that
it's
half of it. No, it's still on that sliding scale of.
They say if you got $1 million, you got to pay $500,000 in taxes.
Pretty much, it ends up pretty much like that. If you take
what the fuck is that about?
It pretty much ends up like that.
Why? What is that about?
Because our government is our government.
How does that make sense?
But we're in the matrix, right? It's like, I completely understand people that be like, they never pay no taxes. They ain't file no tax returns. They ain't trying to file no tax returns. I can't even really, hate on you. I understand where that comes from. But at the same time, when you trying to run businesses and you trying to make moves, and we could go down a list of all of these huge rap agencies and we can go through all of these lists of our businesses. And before the CIA and the DEA came, the IRS came. It's a double-edged sword. If y'all ain't never listened to Taxes or whatever by J. Cole, y'all need to listen to that.
I'm gonna tune in. I'm gonna tune in. It's called Taxes.
I think it's called Taxes. I gotta do
J. Cole. I don't really like J. Cole, but I tune in. I'm gonna tap into him.
Yeah, you need to tap into that because
I think I heard it though.
What all is going on? It's like the IRS still there. So, people get letters. Ohio is one of the biggest bullies on letters I've ever seen in my life. It's like, I don't know if it's because it's a poor state and a lot of money left.
Man,
but when I tell you they'll send somebody a bill for $50,000 that owe $150, I'm not exaggerating.
Oh, I got one of those.
Like if you don't,
when you start a business and you don't tell them, oh yeah, if you don't file your business and tell them how much you made, they gonna make up some shit for you.
Yeah, they will.
And bill you.
It's called an assessment.
And bill you.
They will assess your taxes for you.
They will bill you some shit. You like, whoa. When I started, I forgot what business I started. It was some little business I had in my mind back in the day, and I didn't do nothing with it. But I ended up getting a letter saying I owe like $20,000. I'm like, what? No, no, I don't got that bitch. She was like, okay, well, yeah, just say you don't have it.
Right.
I said, well, why did you? Okay.
Nowhere on the letter does it beg you, right?
Yeah.
To say, all you have to do is call us.
Yeah, I was like, no, I'm not in business no more.
No.
Yeah, I got that letter.
So just think about how many of us been bullied to pay tax money that we didn't even owe.
Wow. How many people paid that bill that didn't know?
Right. Because I mean, you know, money might be coming in and going out different kind of ways. They'd rather just pay it than stir anything up. And I mean, literally, they don't be owing this money. And it's just not just our businesses. But sales tax is one they like to do levies on and whatnot. So.
But I do think we're in a better position now in 2020 than we have been because of the internet and a lot of education out here. So now when we get taxes, I think that we are getting a little better and spending it instead of how we used to when we were younger.
There's nothing like internet shame, right?
Yeah.
I mean, to keep it real, like.
But that'd be crazy, all the internet shame with the taxes. Right, I don't know why people be clowning people. You don't
see as many big girls with their dudes on, like, yeah, it's tax season, because, I mean, that's...
That's some black people shit. Like, why do they do that? Black people making fun of anything.
Yeah, we go after
they getting their taxes. I can tell everybody getting their taxes. I be like, yeah, I want my taxes. I want my taxes. I need all my. They be like, I'm gonna see a lot of who's selling the cars. Who's selling the cars, and 4 months later, who know a mechanic.
So you won't see as many pictures, I don't think, of people posting their cars as you would have seen.
What's wrong with people, man?
When we first got on Facebook, it was about the tax season.
Why is it income tax shaming though? I think it's people who don't get taxes. Because the people who get taxes be ready, boy.
It is, and I mean, you know,
it's funny though.
Even in
social
that case,
media
like
is funny.
If you're that middle ground person that no longer has your kids to claim and stuff like that, you need to holler at me. People make shea butter mixes. Like, you gotta buy all your stuff for that. You sell it, you can, you know, sell it for a little nothing, but it's some cash flow.
Keyword. Cash flow.
Like,
yes.
You don't have
That's
to.
What they
you don't
need
have
to know.
Have a federal ID number, but I promise you, it'll only take 10 minutes to get it online.
The word of the day is cash flow. Get you some.
It's not that hard, man. But you know what? I'm so like, I hear people talk a lot about our 20-somethings and our young people, and I work with a lot of them.
I think they're in a better position, though.
I think they're in a better position.
I
think a lot of them got their heads on straight. And
we don't have so many. You know, the thing that I like about the new society and the new generation. Well, I don't know if the new generation is taking advantage of it, but I like the playing field. It's almost. Right. It's not there yet. I just don't want to be quoted saying it's better. But, you know, before, when we was coming up, we had a lot of restrictions. Like, they might not let you get a loan because of your color, or they didn't want you to live here because of your color, or they didn't want you to go to this school because of your color, or they didn't want you to... you couldn't work here because of your color. Now, what I'm saying now is, with the internet...
I want you to assimilate, though.
No.
That's the only problem I got.
I'm saying with the internet, and you don't have to physically be there. It's based off your qualifications.
I think the fact that, you know, these kids feel, what's the word? Entitled. We as parents complain about that a lot, right? Entitled, like, you know, they don't have to work as hard as we work.
We don't.
And, I mean, even though, you know, our parents told us the same thing. Like, my daddy, for real, like, would walk from over by Dunbar over to Sutton Miller's for a job. You know, I ain't ever walked that far.
Right. Yeah.
So it's just the next generation. But the fact that they seem, if we're going to use the word entitled, I think it lands into them expecting more. They go to a job, they expect more. They're just not happy to just be in that job. Like, we were just happy to get there. Like, you know, for a lot of us, we were the first generations in college, you know, that got business type jobs when we graduated. So to a certain extent, it was almost like, oh, like, I got in. Now these kids expect to get in. Yeah, they
Well, not even that. I noticed that
with that.
It's a lot of self education right here. Like, it has YouTube University, so a lot of kids don't want to go to work. or they don't want to work that hard ass job they seen their mom and their daddy work, or they don't want to go to construction. I can start a YouTube page and be a YouTuber. I can get an Instagram page and start selling hair. I can, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
and you can do all of that, but you can also pay taxes on that. You can
that's what I'm saying. You turn it into a business. That's what I'm saying. Turn it into a business.
You can also write off the percentage. Like if this was the size of your room in your house, you write off the percentage of all of your bills for this room versus the rest of your house. Like,
so you know secrets that motherfuckers don't even know about.
Centers,
it's like tax people like you don't know secrets that motherfuckers dream about. Like what?
Man.
Well, I didn't even know some shit about that.
Y'all, it's not really secretive.
It's definitely a secret. It's like a
code to how
it's
they
like a secret,
write it, and they have the nerve to call it the tax code.
It's like a secret society.
So if you go online and you read the same code I read, you reading it and like, that don't make no sense.
It's like a secret.
I'm reading it. And the whole time I'm reading it, I got the ghetto version of it in my head. Like I got plain English going in my head for what they're trying to say in this tax code.
It's like a secret society
that confuses everybody.
It's like a secret.
Anything can be researched. People ask me questions all the time, and I ain't gotta say, "Oh yeah, I know that off the top of my head."
But it's still like a secret society because I can go on TurboTax and do my taxes, but you can do my taxes, and it'd be totally different.
The reason why you can go on TurboTax and not, first of all, like TurboTax is garbage.
It's like cookie cutter.
So it's not even cookie cutter. The thing is that you need a Schedule C. You can't see that Schedule C until you file that tax return. I can go and look at your Schedule C, see what's hitting what. For instance, if you've already taken a big enough deduction with all your other stuff, none of your write-off from home expenses are going to take off because you're already at a loss. It's not going to give you a loss on top of that. It's not. So you plan, you know what the numbers are, but if you want to write off everything from your home, you can't deplete everything. You think TurboTax gonna tell you that? They just not gonna count it. Right. People sit in TurboTax and enter their little charitable donations to church, which is like $500. They enter all of this stuff and they think they doing it, and it don't have nothing to do with nothing because it take the standard deduction.
H&R Block.
I worked for Block for 8 years.
You like them? That's a good place to start.
Oh yeah. Okay. The thing about
when I started,
it's free schooling. You pay $20 a year. You can take whatever class you want to take.
When I started working, H&R Block was the one I used to go to.
It's a lot of good preparers. Now they like everything changes. Technology, our system changed, and a lot of the elders didn't like the new system. They was used to the old kind of DOS looking system. So you've lost a lot of that. But
I used to get that rapid refund, boy.
Yeah,
I used to get that.
You had bad people everywhere. Just like you can go to McDonald's and get some bad fries. That fry person sucks.
When I used to go to when I first started working, like 20, I used to get rapid refund. That was my shit. But I didn't know I was getting my head waxed off. If I'd have just waited, all I had to do was wait 4 weeks, and I could have saved like $500.
This was the killer that was so baller about that though. When they first started the online filing, I used to go down to the IRS building and sit there with the IRS lady and watch her.
She like, what is she doing?
E-file my return because it still wasn't optional, but I knew it was coming. So everything she did, I paid attention to for like 2 years. Then they switched it on to where we could e-file our own returns.
Right.
E-filing cut 4 weeks to 10 days. It's been 10 days now. If y'all, a lot of people mad that the IRS is holding earned income credit money for a month.
What does that mean?
They're not even okay. So the turn on day for tax returns going live, meaning from January the 1st to January 27th. I don't really care what tax returns were submitted and accepted by the IRS. They weren't really submitted. They didn't turn on that switch till January 27th.
Why is that?
Because there's always a start date to the tax season. So it's never turned on as soon as 2020 clicks over. There's always a start date, but that start date is usually from the 10th to like the 15th. This year it was really late. It wasn't until the 27th. The IRS is going to hold any earned income credit returns until a month out from that January 27th.
Goddamn. Why?
Because identity theft.
So they say.
Everybody want to claim 6 and 7 of everybody else's kids. So they say, hell,
I'm
doing taxes.
Shit.
I know I'm supposed to with these kids.
Oh,
so they
shit.
hold it and they ping it off of Social Security records and ping it off of school records. And
so they checking shit.
For a month.
So
then they gonna release.
So are you saying that we fucked that up? for claiming all these goddamn
there's been
kids.
so much tax fraud. Most of the stuff that my clients are upset about, they want to send a check instead of a direct deposit. You can be mad at the IRS, but just think about how many people was doing them emerald cards and just low money on them and just fraudulent. So the government ain't gonna keep taking hits. We
always fucking up some shit.
They not gonna. It's not a we situation. It's across the board. I mean,
man, that was us.
At different times.
That was us with the claiming your kids and your sister kids. And hey, let me claim your kids. You ain't claiming. You ain't even worked this year, girl. So let me claim your kids.
You'd be surprised because a lot of times all kids need is a social security number and live to your house. So you think all of those, trailer park folks are just. I don't want to seem offensive to nobody, but we need to stop thinking that a lot of things are black owned.
Because that's all we see.
Poor is not black owned.
Poor is poor.
Poor is poor. There's poor Latinos. There's poor, and a lot of them live in the same household. And
so they was finessing like we was finessing.
Everybody was finessing. We didn't have no corner market on this. Now now the fact that more of our population is poor in numbers comparison to the percentage of whites to the percentage of Latinos or anything else.
And plus, that's all we see because we only see because we don't be around now. We only be around.
Right now,
but I know, goddamn, we was goddamn getting it in, boy.
A lot of people get.
You don't even work.
Income credit.
So since you don't work and you've been getting welfare,
right?
Let me have your kids.
Yeah.
He was killing them. It came back.
The community was killing that.
It done came back and bit our. It done came back and bit our ass. Now they hold our shit at 30
for your earned income credit checks.
Ooh, so about the 27th, it's gonna be back on.
I got some
gonna
folks
be lit.
that's getting there to 26. So.
Oh, we gonna be lit.
I mean,
next week.
Listen, there is some favoritism. I'm gonna tell you this right now. If you're going on TurboTax, Free Tax USA, Tax Free USA, I done use them all. Just know that your line and your place in line, if you have anything out of the ordinary on your tax return, you claiming your nephew. You got a small business. Just know that the fact that the IRS know you self-prepared that is not going to have you at the front of the line. Like the software that I use, H&R Block, they have test returns every year that did get earned income credit before the 27th. Because the IRS has to test their system and they trust those large software preparation businesses to say, these are probably clean returns. So
okay, so let me ask you this though. Let's go deep. Let's go on the dark side. Let's go on the dark side. Now we're gonna go on the dark side. Around this time of the year, we start hearing all these commercials. Everybody's saying, "Come, let me do your taxes. Let me do your taxes." Should our people? Because I can only speak on our people. I don't really know the other. So should we? I'm gonna just say we. Should we accept that $6,000 loan? Talk to me.
I need somebody that got the $6,000 loan to call me and let me know that they got it because it still goes through their bank. Mm-hmm. And the average folks still ain't getting that $6,000 loan because even though you've probably seen it advertised.
Yeah.
Right?
I see it advertised.
Who did you see get it?
Well, I don't know if anybody got it. I just hear it on the radio all day.
You hear it
6,000. Come in right now. Just bring your W-2. Bring your W-2 right now. You don't even need your income tax. No. Bring your check. You don't even need your W-2.
I mean,
just come in and get $6,000.
Yeah, that's what they tell
you.
And then the bank only approves you for $1,500 or $500. But it just depends.
But I'm saying, is that a wise decision or is that a money grab?
It really just depends on how much you're paying. Now, back in the day when Block was doing it with the rapid refund in 3 days, that's what rapid refund was.
I was waxing my head off.
That had a shorter interest span time for their money sitting in the bank, if that makes sense. So they're flipping your money in 3 days to you, right? Money. So they're making less money off of that. So they're going to charge you more in interest to do it. Any short term. I think it's like
36% interest. That's crazy.
Yeah, so, but I worked at Kentucky Check Exchange in Westtown for a couple of years or so, and that was ridiculous.
What was that?
Every 2 weeks, the same people was paying off a check advance. So if you're already in a hole and you owe $400 on this advance, and now it's $475 every month, you putting yourself $75 more in a hole. So That's, I mean,
It's like companies like that pray.
For some people, it's not a bad thing. My company that had the cash advances, I honestly don't have a lot of clients that went for the cash advance. I was not thrilled by the approval rating for what they were advertising. I mean, I'm just gonna keep it real with y'all. Shit happens, but at the same time, it wasn't costing a whole lot of money.
But
up to $1,000 was interest free, so you was paying not more $1.
But do you think?
Because how many people need $6,000 right here, right now?
Shit, if you can give it to me, and I ain't even got my W-2, and I'm desperate, and I'm poor in poverty, I'm gonna take
that though. The whole time I was at Block, nobody
brought
me in a W-2 and got $6,000. Not.
Oh, that's just to get you in the door.
Person. Yes,
that's just
once I got you in the door, I'm
doing your taxes. Yeah.
You still gonna
so that's just to get you in the door.
taxes.
Okay, but do you think they prey on low income people?
Definitely. Anytime you have, H&R Block commercials with big dookie chains and radios, who you think they playing to? But if I try to sell myself with big dookie chains and radios, I'm unprofessional.
Yeah. I haven't seen that commercial. You said big dookie chains. I haven't seen that.
It's coming. The bold income tax cash hero. It's coming.
Okay.
But if I was to try to sell myself like that, it would be a layer of us that would be embarrassed. You know what I'm saying? A layer of us that because I don't, I'm not coming the most, professional. But here, H&R Block can do it. They can be
I haven't seen that.
Down the street, and we buy into it. It makes us feel comfortable. It makes.
But I'm saying that.
Is, you know what I'm saying?
Now I know that the money game. The money game is to sell money. The money game is to sell the idea of selling money, right? So everybody do it. I mean, even when you go get a car, I mean, you know what I'm saying? A loan, the bank. The bank is selling you money, basically, at an interest rate. But I'm talking 30%. God damn.
I mean.
Do people understand? I don't think our people understand.
This is the thing, though.
So I'll give you 6. Now you get 8 back. I'm going to give you 6 up front. I'm really getting 8.
At the end of the day, though, that same person that is getting a $6,000 tax return is getting back everything they paid out of their check plus these credits. So it's not any money that they physically have lost or earned, or it's earned it. It's not the same thing. That's what the only money. It's not the same. It's a credit. Those are credits that you're given. That has nothing to do with you working.
No, I'm talking about the interest rate, though. It's still high.
I'm not saying that it's not high, but I'm saying it's hard to convince people who are getting money that
they
didn't
have it.
That they didn't
They're like, I don't give a fuck. You can have that little money.
We keeping it real, right?
That's why I said when I was going to do that rabbit refund, I was getting waxed for like $500. I was like, I didn't give a fuck.
Right.
But if I just waited 2-3 weeks, you would have just had the money plus that. But I don't give a fuck. It's a lump sum. I ain't had kids at the time neither. So it was just extra money to me. But as I got older, I realized, damn, they tore my ass up.
They will tear you up. And I mean, yeah. But I mean, millions of us do cash advances. Millions of us got high ass interest credit cards. I mean, millions of us go buy cars at 20% interest.
The debt game is crazy.
The car depreciates before you can start it up.
Right.
But we want, you'll have somebody paying $450 a month for a car. I remember when I paid $500 a month for an apartment.
I paid.
I mean, we'll easily pay $450 a month, and they say that's a good payment. That's a lot of money when you put it in a. And this is not.
And that includes insurance.
We talking about
that's not including insurance.
Yeah, that's not including insurance. So
damn,
I don't.
Poor people get it hard, boy.
It does, and one of the main reasons why we get it so hard is that we need some seriously credit counseling. And I raised my hand. Who got some credit counseling for me? Because we just want to spend.
So
when we got the ability, and it's a tricky slope because I have a new car that I got before Christmas. I love getting new cars before Christmas because they be giving away interest free for 15 months. So I'm about to use this car for all my incidentals, flap some money on it. It's paid off by the 15 months. You got nothing out of me. But
listen,
somebody has.
Listen, are y'all listening to her? Okay, I like
that.
But
at the same time, they sneak me a little email. They done gave me $5,000 more in credit.
Yeah.
Now, because I'm using it, but I'm using it for petty stuff, and I'm paying it right back off. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, if I was like, if I had a business where I had to spend a lot of money to make a lot of money, I would think in my head, who wouldn't? Oh, now I got 5,000 more I can use. I can go buy this. I can go buy that. I mean, it could be legitimate purchases.
Right.
But if I don't get it paid off within that 15 months, which a lot of our businesses are determined on other businesses and the stock market and what people want to spend money on. A lot of people do side hustle businesses that are personal businesses where that's the first thing people cut. The first thing you're going to cut, I mean, not always black hair for us, but is, oh, let me try to do my own hair because I can't afford to get my hair done no more. Let me try to do my own nails because I can't afford to get my nails done no more.
True.
Let me roll with this, cocoa butter from the store because I can't get Miss Suge's creamy shea butter. Like those things are the things that we, technically they even tell us
money
to cut
management.
first.
Yeah.
Right? Are those little incidentals pampering of yourself? I guess I'm talking as from a woman's standpoint, but those are the little things we cut, going out to eat. So if you have a restaurant and it's a downturn in your local economy, more than likely people going to stop going out to eat as much. That affects you differently than it's going to affect the grocery store because now they're buying more groceries.
True.
So what's good for one business is not necessarily good for the other. So it just really, I mean, if you know somebody who works, selling high interest products, and they helping everybody get into a home. I underwrote mortgage loans for 8 years. It was like, I don't think that everybody that was putting folks in $500,000 homes and they made $60,000 a year was just money hungry. Some people really thought in their head, or they sold this to themselves, that I'm helping them fulfill their dreams. Because a lot of times, it might have been somebody who had earning power.
Right.
They didn't just start this potential. So by the time this arm loan kick in or whatever, they'll be making enough money to be able to pay that loan. I mean, but then the crash came. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's property tanked. It's just, the money market is a volatile market, in my opinion. I'm not good at financials. I'm not good at maneuvering that, but
I wouldn't buy a house again to just buy. No more. At this age, I wouldn't buy a house to live in it. I would buy a house as an investment property. That's what I've learned over the years.
That's because the years in a market that you had your house in.
Yeah.
Because I know somebody who moved to Houston, bought a condo in a sketchy kind of area that wasn't all doo-doo-doo. And it got built up and made $70,000 when she walked away from it.
There you go.
You can't beat nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? So
there you go.
It really.
But it still was an investment for her though, because she walked away.
Yeah, but
I'm talking about to live in for 30 years. That type of house.
Yeah. I mean, but
I wouldn't do that.
The reason why that was beneficial for people before.
I'm all about cash flow.
Okay, but your house used to be a cash flow for you, because then that took you from a standard deduction to itemizing, and you would put your interest on there, your taxes you paid on your home, your taxes you paid to the state, all of your donations, charitable donations, out-of-pocket expenses for work. I have stewardesses that are so upset. That whole Schedule A got reworked where you can't even take out-of-pocket expenses for work. The standard deduction is doubled, so you no longer, most people that have lost their benefit to being on that Schedule A. So even where that was beneficial for our parents tax-wise to have a home, we'll have to settle and see how this new tax with the double standard deduction works. Because before, let's say the standard deduction for married couple was $12,000. So that meant $12,000 came out of your income. You could easily pay $8,000 a year in interest on your home, another $2,000 or so in taxes. You could be then gave $5,000 to your church. You could have out-of-pocket expenses for work, whether it be your uniforms, working in a section of your home, all of that, and all of that together would be like $23,000. Well, of course, you want $23,000 taken off instead of $12,000. You go with your itemized deductions. That takes off of your income before you calculate the tax. Well, now the standard deduction is $24,000. So just imagine how you're going to have to stretch to try to beat that when it was easy to beat it before. more of your income came off. Now it's doubled, and it just kind of so home ownership is. I don't down home ownership, but just like owning a business, I think people need to get more financial assistance besides who's trying to sell them something. They need to talk to people that's in homes. They need to really be real with, the upkeep of a home. I mean, a lot of us
because when you look at it versus now, I'm only comparing this to an investment, right? So that's why I'm saying.
Even on an investment property, what's great about an investment property now is most of them you can Airbnb, right?
Yeah.
So at the least,
but I'm saying as far as renting versus owning, as far as the return on your investment versus owning a house, right? Or versus an investment. So if I pay this, let's just say some Ohio shit, $600 a month mortgage versus $600 a month I can put in a mutual fund.
Okay.
Right? So, and I'm still renting, but this house would be my investment. So over that 30 years, you would make more from your portfolio investment than a house.
I mean, property is always good to buy, but where people get, that's all pretty on paper, but where people get bogged down is who do you have to take care of that home in Ohio when the pipes bust? Like, you have to be ready for all of that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's what I'm talking about.
And this is where this is where when I tell people to open an HSA and stop spending all of your money on medicines out of pocket off of money you've already paid taxes on, when you can have it taken out. It's a health savings account.
Okay.
Flex savings account.
Yeah.
That money taken out of
talking
your
about like
check.
your job or something.
Right.
Okay.
You can use it for your dentist appointments, your doctor's appointments, your kids get sick. A lot of medicines are on their list. Going to the gym. It's just so much. And it's your money. So at the end of the year, if you only saved in taxes $150, why not? Why give the government the $150?
Right.
Why not set that money in an account and let it
pay
grow?
less.
And then when you're ready to buy an investment property, you got a little kitty for those types of slip ups and things that happen to an investment property, right? Like, that's the thing. People may numbers wise be ready to make investments, but they're not, able. You still need a good management company, because I done rented from some garbage management companies,
Yeah.
But I got a friend that stayed in a condo for 8 years and I think paid like $800 a month. So do the math. The condo only got purchased for $33,000 and he been paying 8 years. He didn't pay for that condo almost 3 times.
Right.
And now the property value has went up. The condo owner come in, put down some, new stuff, make it look new, and he'll charge $1,500 for that condo now. And it's still the same condo he paid $33,000 for. That condo been paid for.
See, but that's an investment, though. He's not living in it.
He's not living in it.
I'm talking about versus living in it.
I mean,
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say I wouldn't do it to just I would do it as an investment. Me personally, now,
would too.
I wouldn't do it to just live in it, because you ain't goddamn
condo to get it to where I can make it an investment property.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't necessarily not own something. I probably would just own something out of the country. We got land in Farmville.
Yeah,
I definitely. But at the same time, I know I'm not gonna live there all year, so
there we go.
I would Airbnb it.
And then, okay.
Rent it out.
Hold on.
How long we been talking?
I
told you I talked for a long time.
We're going to wrap up in a minute. We've been an hour.
Nobody's watching no more. Yeah, it's still on live, but yeah.
They was on?
Yeah, they was on.
Like, where's she going? Well, we're going to wrap up.
Okay.
I just wanted your last. I think we've been on for an hour. But you've been very, 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 very.
All right. It was nice talking to y'all. I mean, if y'all want to, I don't know.
But it's a podcast. I'm a.
People ask questions?
No, did nobody ask? No. Okay. I'm saying,
but it's a podcast, so we're gonna upload it.
Okay.
So, yeah, we still going.
Okay. Well, yeah, y'all can definitely email me at theboldtax@gmail.com. I have my website, theboldtax.com. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook as The Bold Tax and Bookkeeping Services LLC.
And what's your phone number? Can they call you?
They can.
Or you rather them message you?
I would rather them message me though. I would rather an email because I always have follow-up questions.
Don't be calling me.
And
Nah,
I work a
just playing.
daytime job, so I'm not. That's just not always the best way to get a quick response from me. Is to call
Okay,
me.
email. So email.
It
The best
is
way to get in contact.
theboldtax@gmail.com. We're keeping it real simple. You can also leave messages on my website at theboldtax.com.
And hit her in the messenger on Facebook.
Hit me on Messenger on Facebook. I have
I like
secure
Messenger.
document loading system. I have
That
an
I don't
app for
use that I need to.
I have PC loading of documents. We trying to keep all of your social security numbers everything secure. Debolding on Facebook.
What else? That's it?
The true one on Instagram. Cause I am the true one.
Okay.
That's about it.
Well, it's been a pleasure. I
Rob, that's
enjoyed.
what's up. Thanks
You
for
are very
having me on.
knowledgeable. And I'm pretty sure once we air this, there's going to be a lot more questions.
Okay, yeah. Send us questions.
And,
I answer our questions.
So maybe you can come back.
Most definitely.
Maybe you can come
right
back
around the corner.
after
It
we
took me 15 minutes to get here.
after we put it out there and see if we get some bites to see
Out here in
if we
Cobb
can
County.
answer some questions and help some people. But I
I'm
think
here to help.
you did good.
Well, thank you.
And salute. And you were the first one guest on our Elevate podcast.
Hey,
Is that
with the
magazine?
magazine, you know what I'm saying? Yes. Okay.
So we signing out. It's your boy
That's what's up.
Hoodro, Elevate Magazine. We are here to teach you and learn you.
See, we like him.
All right, y'all. We out. Peace.
Peace. It's dope.